Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Vitality Festival Chat and Vibe series. Today, we've got the beautiful Rosie Pletzer here from Minds Aligned, and we're really excited to have her here as one of our presenters for the upcoming Vitality Festival. So, Rosie, welcome and hi to you.
Hello, how are you?
Good. So you've chosen to present the topic of creating balance amidst chaos. Why don't you tell us a little bit about why you've chosen that at this time?
Yeah. I think because we can probably all agree it's been a bit of a chaotic year, and I hear a lot that we've got to fix stuff or we've got to move with the times, or there's a lot about moving forward or creating a new normal. There's a lot of narrative about that, and I thought really for me it's about finding a balance and finding a flow within what's happening. So not railing against it or getting too cranky about what's happening, but looking within and trying to come up with some strategies that can help us create a calm and a balance with everything that's been happening this year. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And so there's also a lot of talk about always bringing that balance between the body, the mind, and the spirit. So do you think that for most people they need to do all of those things, or can they just do one or the other?
Yeah, I think it's meeting people where they are. If all you can manage is to create a little bit of balance and routine with your physical world, then start with that. If you can, sure, I think it's really important that we try to encompass and embrace all three aspects of life. And I think that helps create a more solid foundation of balance in our lives. But if we can only just cope with one little aspect of life, I think that's great. Let's just get a routine and build some balance with that part, and then we can build from there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really important. What you just said is being able to really meet people where it's at. I mean, part of the focus for the Vitality Festival is really appealing to the frontline workers that have done so much for us. And a lot of them are really so exhausted. So it's really allowing people to acknowledge where they are and then moving forward from that point.
And sometimes when we've got that level of exhaustion, it might be enough just to build in a routine of getting out in nature for 20 minutes a day. And that might just help offset a little bit and create some more balance just by addressing some of the physical needs. Yeah. Or even having a really healthy green smoothie in the morning that can at least nourish the physical body a little bit while it's not chaotic. Yeah.
And that, would you say that's really important, especially for people who are feeling really stressed and depleted? It's not having to fix everything, but maybe just, start somewhere small?
I think it's really important. I think it can be really overwhelming if we're stressed to think that we've got to address every component of life. And I think it'll just, it's almost like self-defeating, because we'll look at it and get too overwhelmed and say, I can't do any of it, and we'll just collapse into pizza and chocolate and beer or something. So I think if we start bite-sized, we can build in one routine or one habit that's going to really help prop us up and get that balance back into life. And once that becomes habitual and mainstream in our life, then we can look at maybe adding a different component in.
I think that's great advice, just taking one little thing at a time, trying it, and then once you've established that pattern, then trying something else. I think that's really helpful for people. Great, thank you. And let me ask you, Rosie, what drew you to participate in the Vitality Festival for the frontline workers?
I think it's just such an amazing initiative. I think sometimes when these sorts of things happen, this year's been really amazing. We've had the fires, and then we've got the current situation. So it can be a little bit overwhelming, just as a member of the community, thinking, well, what can I do to help? Because it's so big, really, and so encompassing that we can feel a little bit powerless. So I think when this was mentioned, it was exciting to think, wow, this is some way that I can contribute and be of service. And I think that's such a privilege and an honour to do that. I think also for me, my background, when I first left school, I did enter into nursing. So I have that resonance or connection with frontline workers as well. And the other thing that really created an impulse for me to join with this is that when we have these sorts of times, it can fracture a community. We kind of have people with so many different points of view, and people get very locked in with their points of view, and it can create adversity. And this is such a beautiful way of actually building community and coherence with approaching the whole situation. So that felt really nice as well.
And I know you're a huge advocate for collaboration. I know that's something that's very near and dear to you. And I really feel that this is an amazing opportunity to show how, when we're collaborating, what an impact we can have on each other.
Yeah, so true. I mean, collaboration is one of the key principles, for me and how I live my life. So yes, absolutely.
Beautiful. And so just, Rosie, for people who are feeling like they're stressed or they're not quite sure if they are stressed, what could be some of the short-term effects that people might see showing up that could let them know maybe they're a little bit too stressed out in their lives?
Yeah, there's so many different ways, so many little warning signals, I guess, and different people are going to react differently. So a little bit of it depends on what our subconscious or below conscious awareness beliefs and perceptions are, and then where we get triggered or where we have buttons that are going to get pushed. So where we've got weaknesses already, they're going to show up more apparently when we're stressed. So sometimes it could be we might get a shorter fuse. So especially in our nearest and dearest might cop it a bit because we've just haven't got the same amount of stamina that we would normally have, and we're a bit burnt out. Other people might get really tired and fatigued, and bad sleep can also be a sign. So you might have restless sleep, a little bit of worrying and overactive mind playing out during the night. Depression, might be just feeling a little bit flat and not as energetic or vital as we would normally be. So different people can experience it in different ways.
I think you're spot on. I know from the research that we've been doing, we've been speaking to a lot of the frontliners, particularly some nurses and doctors and teachers, and most of them are finding they've got some of those symptoms, if not a combination or even all of them. So I think it's, it's really important for people to recognise it and not feel that something's wrong with them, but it's really just a result or an effect of the times that we're sort of enduring at the moment.
And it's been prolonged this year, it hasn't kind of let up. Normally in a stressful situation, it might have a peak and where we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. In this current situation, it's been prolonged, and there's also an uncertainty of when is it going to change? Is it going to change? How is it going to change? All of those things can create an added stress of the unknown. And I think that some people think they have to be emotionally stressed to be stressed. I think some people don't identify that stress is happening because emotionally they might be holding it together. So maybe look at just things like fatigue and sleep, eating habits. Even some people hold stress in their stomach. Their digestion might start playing up. So there are all these different physical ways that we can react and respond to stress. I know some people get skin conditions or rashes when they're stressed too. So it can play out through the physical body as well.
In so many different ways. And so many people are really finding they're being challenged through these difficult times in so many different ways. Some people emotionally, physically, some people it's financially, there are so many challenges. In your world, in your life, with all that you do, what have you found some of the most challenging things at the moment?
I've just going to close the door because there's a little bit of noise.
That seems to be one of the things that we're all having to deal with at the moment, is having to do Zoom calls and interviews while we've got children and noises in the background that don't make it easy for us to carry on what we're doing.
Working at home. So beautiful topic there, because this is one of the challenges that I've found is that you kind of have to manage the environment at home a little bit more effectively. We never used to have to do that. You know, work would be external or a workplace would be external. That's one of the challenges. I think my biggest challenges during this time have been embracing the fact that I don't know. So it's accepting that I don't know what's going to happen, and being okay with that. So I think that's a big challenge, and it's been really, in hindsight, a blessing, because that's really growthful. It's given me a peace of mind I didn't have necessarily before this. The other one is adaptability. You know, my career path was traveling and giving workshops nationally and internationally, and that's not been possible. So everything kind of came to a bit of a grinding halt. And if I did plan something, often it would change, and I'd have to go with that flow and change my situation as well. So that's been really cool. It's been learning adaptability, learning how I can be of service to my community in different ways, so that we can build up that collaborative approach of navigating this time.
Yeah, and I think that ties in with what we were talking about before, is that community. You know, we've had to find new ways to develop communities. I mean, like you said, you travel all around the world teaching, and you normally have, you know, little communities in each places, whereas, you know, I know, because I'm part of the community, that you have really brought people together, and we've had that amazing ability with Zoom and internet ways to connect to each other. You can really bring everybody into one place, which is, in some ways, has been really nice.
Yeah, it's been really good, and the feedback has been amazing. The support that everybody's been giving each other has been, for me, just so wonderful to watch and see grow and be part of. So it's actually been a really beautiful experience.
Yeah. And I think, you know, in the discomfort, you know, there have been so many growth opportunities. And I know for you, you're really all about helping people to realise their full potential. So do you think that this unique experience of being in an uncomfortable situation for most people has given them really an opportunity to grow?
Yeah, I think one of my favourite people, cell biologist called Dr. Bruce Lipton, often says that it's through chaos that we create, that we're creating something new and we're growing. So I think, yes, I think this is giving us, if we're happy to look at it with that lens, is giving us an amazing opportunity for growth. So I think it's offering something, really special, if we can look at it with that filter. And I'm very privileged, you know. My life hasn't been affected too drastically, and, you know, I can afford to have some time off work and navigate things a little bit differently, and understand that there are people that it's just survival at the moment. So it's harder to embrace it with that filter of excitement, that if you're just coping. But I do think it does offer a lot of growth this particular time.
Fantastic.
Individually and globally.
I agree. And so what are you, moving forward now, hopefully coming out of this COVID cocoon, what have you in your life got to be excited about?
Oh, I've got a lot to be excited about. I'm excited about travelling again. When the borders are open, international borders are open again, I'd love to see myself back travelling and teaching again overseas and nationally. I think that's probably one of the things I'm looking forward to most. I think seeing friends in person and hugging again. I've really missed that. You know, just such simple things, but really meaningful things. Spending a bit more time with my kids. Two of my kids are interstate, so that's been impacted a lot too. So little things, but big things.
And I think that's been really interesting in my life too, and I know with a lot of other people, it's the simple things that we really took for granted in life. You know, being in this incredible situation has allowed us to see what's really, really important and who's really, really important in our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the simple pleasures, you know, just going to a shop without having to think of all the consequences of going to the shop. So I think we just, you know, before COVID, we really didn't realize how free we were living, and it's going to be, I'm going to embrace that freedom again. Yeah.
Fantastic. I love it. And just to finish off with, Rosie, what would you like to say to any of our frontline workers? What would, what little message might you have for those guys?
I think at first, thank you. Thank you. Wow. Honor yourself in this time too. You're doing an amazing job. Give time to yourself to regenerate and recharge as much as you can. Ask for help if you need it. There are so many people out there who are so willing to offer a hand. Sometimes we feel like we shouldn't ask or can't ask. I'm going to say, please ask if you need anything. Now's the time, for sure. There's a lot of people in the wings who would love to help and offer support. And just be kind to yourself. Really be kind to yourself. Yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Rosie, for joining us here for our little chat and vibe series. Yeah. Anybody who's watching can see Rosie presenting at the Vitality Festival, which starts on October the 31st and runs for 9 full days. We've got an incredible lineup of over 70 speakers and a huge amount of people that have been pouring in and will be present. So if you're wanting to connect, if you're looking to be inspired, if you want to learn some new things about how to deal with yourself in these uncertain times, please log on, click on the link below. I've also included some of Rosie's, her details, so you can find her wherever you want. I can't recommend working with Rosie enough. She's been an amazing light in my life. And Rosie, thank you so much. And we wish you well with all your endeavours. And I look forward to when the borders open up so you and I can play again too.
Yes, me too. Very much so.
Yeah. So thanks, guys. And we'll see you at the Vitality Festival coming up soon. Thanks.
Look forward to it.
Now I got to find the stop.